We have some 49ers free agency drama to get to, and San Francisco making another addition to the interior of their defensive line. This is the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Hope all of you out there are having a great Wednesday night. We've certainly been busy here at Chat Sports. Appreciate everybody who's tuned into all of the shows, all of the live shows. What we do wouldn't be possible without all of your support. And if you want Niners coverage every single day and you want to stay in the know with all of the moves that the San Francisco 49ers make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. As for that free agency drama, linebacker Eric Kendricks has backed out of his deal with San Francisco. He's had a change of heart, and he will not be signing with the Niners in free agency. Instead, he is signing with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, keep in mind, we've talked about this a lot here on the show, that these deals, especially in the lead up to the start of the official new league year, which took place at 4 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday today, are verbally agreed to. And until they are officially signed, some of these players can back out of these contracts, and if they want to, they can elect to sign with another team. And that is what has happened here with Eric Kendricks. Frank Gore did this a few years ago when originally he was supposed to sign with the Philadelphia Eagles. It looked as though that deal was going to become official, but it wasn't. He spurned Philadelphia. He signed with the Colts. And now Eric Kendricks spurns Philadelphia, and he signs with the Dallas Cowboys. What does this mean for the Niners? They're going to have to be in the market for another backup linebacker because Eric Kendricks was going to be the Dre Greenlaw contingency plan, replacement, and the holdover option. And I thought that it was a fantastic move for this Niners defense. We talked about it earlier today. 8 straight years of 100-plus tackles, very durable player, did not give up a touchdown in coverage last year, 2019 All-Pro. And Adam Schefter breaks the news just moments ago, another change of heart. After agreeing to a deal with the 49ers, former Chargers and Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks has decided to go to the Dallas Cowboys instead, per sources. Mike Zimmer, their new defensive coordinator, taking over for Dan Quinn, who's now the head coach under former Niners assistant general manager Adam Peters with the Washington Commanders, wanted Kendricks to help run his defense, and Kendricks preferred to play in Dallas. I imagine that with the Niners, he was signing for the vet min, older player, longer in the tooth, on the back nine of his career. And what has to be discussed here, no state income tax in Texas, whereas California, very expensive. So when you combine that with him probably not getting that much money from San Francisco and being able to team back up with Mike Zimmer, who was the Vikings head coach, ran the defense with the Vikings when Eric Kendricks was named a first-team All-Pro and solidified himself as one of the best linebackers in the NFL, played a role in this. And what's wild, we've been making fun of the Dallas Cowboys. We can still continue to make fun of the Dallas Cowboys, by the way. This is the first external move that Dallas has made. And this is a big loss for San Francisco because you can't count on Dre Greenlaw to be ready for week 1. He's coming off the torn Achilles that he suffered in the Super Bowl in February. He might very well be back for week 1, but you just can't count on it. So you need another linebacker. And if you were to go into the season with Fred Warner, Eric Kendricks, Jalen Graham, D. Winters, I really like that linebacking core. And now you're going to have to find somebody else. I like the young backers on the team in Graham and D. Winters, but having Eric Kendricks gave you confidence that you're going to bring in a veteran who you know that you can count on because he's very accountable. Other linebackers out there in free agency right now, Devin White, blazing fast, going to be too expensive though for San Francisco. The same can be said for Jerome Baker. Isaiah Simmons is still out there. Devin Bush, Cody Barton, Quan Alexander, but he's coming off a torn Achilles. He's rehabbing that right now. Former Niners, Oren Burks, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, Eric Wilson, and Shaq Leonard. So we'll see what happens at the linebacker spot now for the Niners. San Francisco also making an addition to their roster. They are bringing back Kevin Givens on a 1-year contract, and this is going to be another depth piece at defensive tackle. They addressed that huge position of need earlier today with a trade that I love. Malik Collins, Houston Texans. You give Houston a 7th-round pick for a player in his last 2 years who has 85 quarterback pressures and has been a better, statistically, and more durable player than Eric Armstead. A little bit of a different player than Armstead. Armstead, 6'7", a little bit leaner. Malik Collins, a little bit wider. Takes up some more real estate along that defensive line. And the Niners usually, when they trim their roster down leading up to the regular season, prefer to keep about 10 defensive linemen. And they have 10 right now, top 10, I should say. And you have some of the clear names up at the top and then some of the players on the periphery. Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Yetur Gross-Matos, Jordan Elliott. Those are your shoo-ins to definitely make the team. And then outside of that, other players who are going to be competing with the other players on the 90-man, Kevin Givens, Drake Jackson, Robert Beal Jr., as well as Kalia Davis. Some pretty good opportunities for some of those other players. And with the Malik Collins trade, I had talked about this a little bit earlier today. Coach Yak, and I referenced this on the show, put out a great statistical comparison with what he's done over his last 3 years as compared to Eric Armstead. And this isn't a slight on Eric Armstead, but we're replacing Eric Armstead with Malik Collins, so you have to talk about how these players compare statistically. And Eric Armstead, longest tenured Niner up until his official release, which was made official today, 4-time team captain, Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, leader in the locker room, and a really, really good player. But he's played 21 games over his last 2 years, and one of the big themes for what the Niners have done here in free agency, they're bringing in players who are durable. And there are durability concerns for Armstead, who has had knee and foot issues the last 2 years. And over his last 3 seasons, 38 games, 11 sacks, 28 quarterback hits, 148 pressures, 101 tackles, 13 TFLs. Malik Collins, more games at 46, same number of sacks, 11, 7 more quarterback hits with 35, not as many pressures. Armstead has a $148, and Collins has 116. Tackles, 107, more for Collins. And then TFLs, Collins has double the amount of tackles for loss that Armstead had. So this is a good comparison to show you what Collins is going to be able to bring to this team, and because he's a beefier defensive tackle, could be better against the run. So some surprising news, but these things do happen when a player backs out of a deal. You can't really slight Eric Kendricks. You can make the jokes, he's dead to me, because a lot of people are making jokes toward Tiki Barber. This has been the San Francisco 49ers Report. By the way, Tiki Barber, we're saying that about Saquon Barkley, I might add. Thanks to everybody for tuning into the coverage all throughout this week. I think it's been stellar. Hopefully everybody agrees. Very confident in what we do here at Chat Sports and on the 49ers Report, bringing you informative, entertaining, insightful coverage. Our live show today went crazy, $1,500 in super chats. It was a blast, and we'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, ready to do it all over again. If you haven't subscribed, do so right now because you're missing out.